Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. General Hospital reveals Mayor Laura Collins horrified because she's got a very dead Professor Hank Dalton in her trunk. And things are about to take a horrible turn for the newly re-elected mayor. So, will a murder accusation against Laura turn over the election results? We're going to talk about why Jen Sidwell is setting Laura up to take the fall for Dalton's murder and what comes next. Alright, so we recently saw Laura go off on Professor Dalton for framing her grandson Rocco Falcioni for supposedly trashing Dalton's lab at PCU. Now poor Rocco is sitting in juvie, terrified and facing serious felony charges. Of course, Laura knows Rocco is innocent and that Dalton is a slimeball. When he provoked Laura at the polling station on election day, if you remember, she screamed at Dalton. Laura called him a liar and promised that he wouldn't get away with this. Then Laura even slapped Dalton in the face. He didn't touch her, and she got physical with him. I mean, it was glorious. And voters seemed to like that she was standing up for her grandson. But unfortunately, Laura slapping him was assault, and she made threats against Dalton twice in public. And now, all of a sudden, his corpse is in her trunk on General Hospital. Of course, we all know that Sidwell is the one who put a bullet through his heart, killing Dalton in cold blood right there in his living room because he put the research that he, Britt Westbourne Sidwell, and the mystery boss are working on at risk. Dalton's bad temper got them on the radar of the PCPD and the WSB. The good thing is they haven't tied Dalton, in one way to Britt and to Sidwell. So, yes, Britt Westbourne is the one and only witness to Sidwell slaying Dalton, but she's terrified, so she is not going to talk. It's not just that Sidwell told her, "This is how I deal with people who betray me." He also reminded Britt she relies on him and the mystery boss for her Huntington's medication. So, she's very scared of what horrible things would happen to her health without that miracle drug. I do suspect we're going to see Laura in the hot seat because she just publicly threatened Dalton. By the end of this week, she's in her car, terrified, freaking out that there's a corpse in there with her spare tire. And Laura screams again on Friday when Nathan West Ryan PV approaches her car. I guess she doesn't see him there. The threats were bad enough if Dalton had turned up dead anywhere. I think Laura would have been a suspect, but with Dalton's body shoved in the trunk of her car, there seems little doubt the PCPD will have to investigate and possibly arrest Laura next week. Of course, we only have 3 episodes next week because of Thanksgiving. So, Laura may not be in handcuffs for a whole another week, but it seems likely it's going to happen. At the same time that it seems likely she'll be arrested, it also seems quite unlikely that the mayor would shoot Dalton. But she did make threats, and she vowed to protect Rocco at all costs. And of course, Laura's a tough cookie, and it wouldn't be the first time she handled a gun. It wouldn't be the first time she killed somebody. So, she's not an angel. But there's also the fact that Laura was just re-elected as mayor, and she beat creepy Ezra Boyle Daniel Cosgrove. And we know she has a lot to lose. Another reason that Laura wouldn't be reckless and just go around shooting some guy no matter what he did to Rocco. However, if the evidence points to Laura, that's what matters. And of course, Sidwell knows that. That's why he told Britt that now dead Dalton could still be useful to their cause because Laura's been getting in the way of what Sidwell wants, which is to get Sonny Corinthos Maurice Bernard out of the way and to take control of the peers. And Laura refused eminent domain. Then they did Measure C, and that didn't go the way Sidwell wanted. But if he can get Laura sent to prison, then it seems like Ezra would probably be mayor. And we know he would do exactly what Sidwell told him to do because he is corrupt. Plus, we know that Sidwell has the murder weapon since he used it. So, he might have planted that with Dalton's corpse in Laura's car or maybe in her office or her home. I mean, this is definitely kind of a 2 birds, 1 stone thing for Sidwell. He got rid of Dalton, who was a problem. And he may also get Laura out of the way. And she's also a problem because she would always be Sonny's ally at City Hall. Plus, in a kind of a 3 birds, 1 stone thing, Sidwell accomplished a 3rd thing by killing Dalton. He scared the teetotal crap out of Britt because she has toned down the cess and she's going to work harder in the lab to get the results from her father Caesar Fazen's Enders Hove research. Even a badass like Britt is now afraid for her life because she knows Sidwell will not hesitate to kill her. She was already scared once she saw that he had brought Pascal Mark Forget to Port Charles because the guy strapped a bomb to her ankle in Croatia. And you know, if Pascal had his way, Britt would already be dead in pieces. So she's terrified, and rightfully so. And Sidwell is evil, but he's also extremely smart, and he seems to always be 2 steps ahead. So I'm not at all surprised that he would take this opportunity to get rid of Dalton, who is a serious liability, and also get Laura out of the way. At the end of this week, Nathan is talking to Laura, who is distraught and sobbing, and he's at her car window at the side of the road. So either Laura calls 911 to report she found a body in her trunk, or Nathan just happens to be driving by and sees her pulled over. Either way, the cops are there, and it should be easy to see that Laura is being framed. But the PCPD doesn't do a great job at actually solving crimes, first of all, and they really have no other suspects. They generally always go for the easy one, like with the Willow Tate Caitlin McMullen thing and Drew Kane Quartermain Cameron Matheson shooting. Bottom line, Rocco is in juvie, and the other kids that conspired to do the break-in, Danny Morgan, Asher Jared Antonizon, Charlotte Casadini Bluesy Burke, Joe Palmieri Giovanni Mazza, and Emma Scorpio Drake Braden Bruner, all have alibis for when Dalton was killed. So even though it seems unlikely that Laura would kill Dalton, if that's where the evidence points, you know, plus with Laura assaulting Dalton and making threats, we could see Dante Falconeri Dominic Somprogna forced to arrest Laura, which would be ironic since Dante was just appointed acting police commissioner by his ex-mother-in-law, the mayor. So, DA Justine Turner Nazneen contractor obviously would charge Laura with murder if the evidence warrants it. And then that means for her that beating Ezra in the election might be the last good thing to happen to Laura for a while. If she is facing arrest and jail time, I would expect Ezra and Drew to get to work overturning the election so that Ezra can take her place as mayor, which would put everything falling perfectly into place for Sidwell and starting a real nightmare for poor Laura. And of course, this is bad news for Sonny, too. It would be kind of funny if Laura has to step down as mayor because of Dalton's murder, and then Ezra is appointed mayor, but then he's forced to step down because Harrison Chase Josh Swickard is about to figure out that Jacinda Bracken Page Herschel, the ex-prostitute, was doing sexy stuff with Ezra for money the night that Drew was shot, and Jacinda lied to give Michael Corinthos Rory Gibson an alibi. So we could have 2 disgraced mayors in the coming weeks. We'll see what happens. Things are not looking good for Laura, and she could lose everything. Obviously, the mayor's friends and family will stand by her. Lulu Spencer, Alexa Heavens Bruning, Rocco, Sonny, Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper, Curtis Ashford, Donald Turner, all of them. And she's got lots of people in her corner. But none of that will matter if Sidwell did a really good job framing her for Dalton's death. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.